Availability with Chancellor Martin. We like to do this as a matter of course at the start of every term to give everyone a great idea of the current state of A&T, because the current state of A&T is changing so rapidly. As everyone saw, I'm sure, in the news and record this morning, we just closed out the books on an incredible year in private fundraising. Chancellor will talk a little bit more about that this morning, as well as other new things that we expect for this school year at North Carolina A&T. He'll be speaking without masks, but just FYI, we are requiring masks across campus in all public spaces where there are more than 2 people gathered. We ensure that there was sufficient space between you and him to keep you and all of you safe this morning. So without further ado, a gentleman who is entering his 13th year as Chancellor of North Carolina A&T State University, the nation's largest HBCU, Chancellor Harold L. Martin Sr.
Thank you very much, Sean. Good morning. Good afternoon. I guess it's afternoon now at this point. I'm so delighted to have you with us today. This is the first day of classes, and so an appropriate time to have an opportunity to engage in a conversation as we launch this university's academic year, even in the midst of the challenging times of this pandemic. And we will continue to do so in ensuring that we're making provisions to keep our students and our faculty and staff safe. It's an exciting time. As Todd has indicated, this is my 13th year as Chancellor, and there are lots of reasons to have great added pride as we share with you some of the incredible work that continues to shape our university. So what's new at North Carolina A&T State University as we begin this new year, first day of classes? Well, first and foremost, a record enrollment. We expect by the time September 5th arrives, which is our census date for our university, we will recognize the largest freshman class in our university's history, and it will recognize the most academically prepared and enthusiastic group of students to join us from all over the nation and, quite frankly, all over the world, with a number of bright and talented students join us from other nations around the world as well. We set an enrollment target through our strategic direction for the institution about 8 to 10 years ago to reach 14,000 students by 2023. And we expect that our enrollment will settle in somewhere between 13,300 and 13,500 students this year, providing opportunities for us to more than exceed the 14,000 students we predicted for fall 2023. Sponsored research. We announced this year that our research total for this past academic year exceeded our targets for 2023 of $75 million, now at $78.2 million, based on the exceptional work of our research staff, our deans, and our faculty for our university. We need to recognize as well that we're off to a great start even this year, already having announced a $6.6 million grant from the U.S. Department of Energy that supports our faculty in our College of Engineering and the STEM areas on our campus, in partnership with Lawrence Berkeley National Labs and our colleagues at Oregon State University, as well as a $20 million grant to Duke University, focused on a wide-ranging areas of focus in artificial intelligence. That includes North Carolina A&T, Yale, Princeton, MIT, and other universities as well. And this huge grant also has been funded by the National Science Foundation, as well as Homeland Security. So we're excited about what this research creates for our university, but the impact that it creates in supporting research innovation by our faculty, our staff, and our students, both graduate and undergraduate students, as well as our partners as well. We've already announced the historic fundraising success of our university through our capital campaign, and most importantly, the success we had this past year, raising approximately $94 million for our university to meet our growing needs for our university's support of our students, our faculty, and our staff, and our academic programs. And $94 million, certainly the largest ever in the history of our university, includes the $45 million from philanthropist Mackenzie Scott. But even with that $45 million gift, we would have far exceeded our university's total fundraising amount in any given year in our history before that. This $45 million plus the additional dollars we raised of $94 million is also assisting the university in continuing to build its endowment. An endowment that stood at about $20 million when I arrived roughly 12 and a half years ago to now approximately $157.5 million. In our endowment, about $180 million under advisement for the university. This creates a very different level of competitiveness for our university that allows us to sustain the significant investments in our university that are critically important for us to remain competitive, supporting our students, academic programs, and our university as a whole. And of course, we're excited about enrolling the first class, the first cohort of February 1 scholars joining our other two